Hello and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's new episode of X Vlog Live. I'm your host, Mr. BoomStick XL, and as you can see, folks, I'm just running solo for the next few minutes or so because C Money is running behind. He didn't say he was, but it was 12 o'clock, so I started the show. First and foremost, before we get any further, I want to say a video game prayer that my stream doesn't take a dump because I did a test stream for 30-ish minutes. And I want to thank the 100 people that showed up. It was an impromptu, just a StreamYard's test stream to make sure that the gameplay situation has somewhat been rectified. And it did work for all 35 minutes there. I don't know if it's going to work anymore. Again, it's working now. We'll see. Hey, here he is. C Money. What's going on, brother? Welcome back. How you feeling?
What's up? What's up?
Yeah, listen, I was saying that, earlier at around 9-ish, I did a impromptu StreamYards test stream. And there's no way to test a live stream without, doing a live thing. And I didn't expect anybody to show up. We had over 100 people, and it was great because a couple of things. One, I told some old NYPD stories, which was hilarious. People asked for it, so, you got it. Some other, just random talk. But the important part is that the gameplay ran smoothly. Now, look, suspiciously, and I'm all about that sus life. StreamYards changed their pricing 3 weeks ago. They used to be a free, a $25, and a $50 being the most, right? Well, that wasn't the case 3 weeks ago. They changed it because now you can record 4K, stream 1080p, which I've always streamed 1080p. It's fine. Interestingly enough, it's almost $90. See, and I was
wait. It just changed, and that's what we're paying, or that's
yeah,
the new
you got to
price,
check,
new
brother,
people?
because they switched me without telling me, and I canceled it. And when I went back to the regular $50, which is the bottom tier now, I started having problems with my gameplay streams. As you've been a part of it. Now this is the sus part, and see, I'm getting a.
Yeah, it's really fucked up right now.
Yeah. You see, yep, there it is. So I don't know exactly why that is happening. When I was chilling by myself, I had no problem. So let me just get back to the graphics that I don't know. I don't know
so
what
when
else.
I was not here,
It was running fine.
it was running smooth.
Right. Now I don't know if it's
Got
because of a
it.
guest situation. I don't know.
Hashtag blame C Money.
No, it's
get
not.
it, music.
I mean, it happened.
I
It happened last night when we went live with it also. Because again, I like the gameplay stuff. Unfortunately, that's until they reach out back to me, and I just keep getting automated messages. It's just a pain in the ass. So until I figure it out, folks, I'm gonna try and run gameplay like we always did. Obviously, it's you saw it on your side. What it was stuttering?
Yeah, like super framey, like
Yeah,
like a slideshow.
There you go. All right, so I have to figure this out because it appears that when you have guests, maybe the extra bandwidth is somehow slowing it down. I mean, it's not my equipment. My equipment is right. Everything has been changed, and it is what. Listen, at the end of the day, we're here to talk about video games, not Boom's problems. And let's get into it.
Video games.
Yeah, but listen, this is look. The stream is working. You find folks in the chat are hearing and seeing me and C Money. Well, again, I like the gameplay. I prefer the gameplay, to be honest with you. But as long as the stream is working, I will figure out the back end, what the H is going on. It can't be my machine. My machine, yes, it's an all-in-one, but I've never had problems. This all started when they switched their
random because I feel like I
service.
didn't see that, and I was like, "What the hell's going on?" I don't know why.
Go check your emails, dude. Because and here's the other thing: you got to check to see if they didn't automatically switch you, because they automatically switched me to the 9. It's 88 and change per month unless you buy it for the year, and then it's 66 per month. But it's still expensive for the year. I mean, obviously you're dropping some serious coin on the year. You got to go into your account to see whether or not they switched you. Because if they did, you've been paying the extra coin and they didn't tell you, because they didn't tell me. I didn't even get an email to say that, hey, they switched you. They just automatically put you to the higher tier because you were on the higher tier.
Billing. I still got the 50-hour one.
Right. Going to the pricing.
Let me see. Load invoices. Let's see.
Yeah, you'll see,
No, I
brother.
mean, I pay for the year. Do you pay for the year? Do you pay monthly?
I did once. I did one time last year. I paid for the whole year, and it was just a lot to start the year off. So I was like, let me do it the monthly. So maybe that's why
I gotta be honest with you. I forgot,
Okay.
and it automatically hit me for the year. So maybe I'm like bundled. Like I'm still.
They might have prorated you. That's what they might have done.
Yeah,
They
maybe
might have
I'm
prorated
still.
you.
Wait, let me see. New. Man, that's wild.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
4K
And
local recordings 3 weeks ago.
yep, told you. Told you 3 weeks. The last 3 weeks has been just very inconsistent. There's been shows where the gameplay has been run, and other shows like, well, just now, my internet drops, which is wild. Listen, let's get into what everyone is here for, folks, and that is to talk about video games. At 6 this morning, the Tokyo Game Show 2024 kicked off for Xbox. And we're going to get into that, C-Money. I don't know, were you up? Did you cover it, or you didn't? Did you watch it?
I mean, I watched it, but I didn't
Right.
wake up for it.
Yeah.
We were gonna wake up for it, but then it was like, you know what?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm excited. I was excited to see what was happening. I was like, listen, if we were gonna be live or something like that, is different. But
Right.
we weren't gonna be live that much. Like at that time, like I have to get my kids to the bus and
Yeah,
stuff.
well, real
Like,
life,
so it's
man.
like
Real life. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
like so it's too much. So I was like, nah, I'm good. We did watch it after though. It was good.
Well, I mean, listen, let's get right into that. So some of the stuff that I have pulled up, we had 5 immediate Game Pass drops, which again, it's super cool. You got Trials of Mana and you got Legend of Mana. I mean, shout out to Miles Dompierre. He just did a tweet, which
Yeah,
is
he was so
great.
pumped.
Yeah, he says, "Holy shit, I won," and that's because he got his Trials of Mana and his Legend of Mana. And you know something? You love to see that excitement, and really that's what gaming is all about.
Absolutely.
Now, one of the things, and again, shout out to Clobriel, who actually posted this. 5 games available today on Xbox. Now, some are Game Pass, some are not. 4 out of the 5 were Game Pass, which are all W's for anyone that's a Game Pass subscriber. And of course, the one that I was hoping would be in Game Pass isn't, but I'm buying it because I'm a fan of the OG, the Final Fantasy, and that is Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster. That is Final Fantasy 1 through 6. If you are
on them each one, right?
Yeah, it's a remaster of the original one. If you are a fan of all of the OG Final Fantasies, it's a must pick up. It was, and crazily enough, it was literally available everywhere. Even Amazon Luna had it, but Xbox didn't. So now the circle is complete. Xbox is a part of it. If you are a fan of the OG, if you like turn-based RPGs, go out and support them, because again, I don't know how much it is. I haven't even gone onto the Xbox Live to download it. I'm just going to buy it outright today when I see it. But the other 4 games that were a part of the Xbox TGS program, which ran about 30 minutes, is of course Legend of Mana, that's Game Pass. Trials of Mana, which is Game Pass. All You Need Is Help, which I know it looks fuzzy and silly, and it's got some some singing in the
I
background.
mean, it's obviously geared towards,
but it looks good,
demographic.
dude. It looks really good. Looks like a great party game, and that is.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have fun with the kids trying that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's the beauty, man. Like it's that's the beauty with Game Pass, though, right? So it wasn't a look at this and like it's not really my thing, so I'm not gonna get it. It's like, okay,
I'll try.
I mean, listen, it's
Game
in Game Pass. I'll try to put on with the kids. If they're having fun, then we're gonna have fun. If they're not, then it'll be the last time I play it. Just it all depends. But
well, I mean, listen, it's just a download. Right? That's all it is. And if the game isn't for you, you just delete it. So it's again, no harm, no foul. It's part of the service. And lastly, and this one is a fun one. This has been around since the PlayStation 1 days. It is an OG game. We love Katamari, Reroll plus
Oh, I saw
Royal
that.
Revere. And that's in Game Pass also. Again, that's just a silly, rolling a ball, collecting things as you go. I'm gonna download it. I'm gonna play that with my nephew Tyler. He's probably gonna laugh and that's what it's about. Those are the kind of family games that I enjoy. And of course, they're all in Game Pass except for Final Fantasy Pixel Remastered. But before we get into the actual grading of the show, C Money, strangely enough, though, Final Fantasy 16 was absent from this announcement. Now, we had heard early in the week that, and this comes the way of Jez Corden of Windows Central, of course, in Jez we trust. He says, don't expect Final Fantasy 7. That will be coming to Xbox, and that will be announced, but at a later date. Now, no specific later date, if you will, but Final Fantasy 16, I thought for absolute certainty that was going to be here. As a matter of fact, I would have lost money, hard-earned cash, and been like, yeah, that's Game Pass day and date. But no, that wasn't there. I expected something silly like Foam Stars to show up in there as well. Not that I would have played it, but Square Enix is trying to, get out of the umbrella of PlayStation, where their titles did not move as well as they expected. And this is supposed to, I'm not dumping on what was announced. The two Mana games, that's a really big deal. And the Pixel collection is dope. But I really thought, that this was going to be a coming out party, so to speak, for Square Enix and Xbox. And we didn't get it. Let's get your
So
hot take on that.
if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure when we had Hargeet on the show on Tuesday night, we were talking about this, and I think what he says, seeing it now, because I kind of was in the same boat. I was like, all right, maybe they're going to do all this stuff, but I think he was on point as he normally is. And I think that the reality is that the games that we saw that got talked about today, that got announced today, were very, Japanese,
Yeah, indeed.
focused
Indeed.
games. It
Yeah.
was like the games we're missing, Mana, these old things. We just got Visions of Mana, so we got the new one, but now we're kind of filling in the back, right? So we got some of those other things. And then we got Final Fantasy Pixel, which is, like it again, kind of like the old games,
Yeah.
right? Just kind of filling in the background, right? Um, and what he has said, if Hargeet, he's in here right now, so mistake me if I'm wrong, but he said that like a Final Fantasy 16, a Final Fantasy 7, stuff like that is more of a June showcase announcement.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, it's more about, like, when you have all eyes on you, that it's more of a June show. Like, that Final Fantasy is less Japanese focused, more like it's more action oriented, right? I think that's more of a Western, geared game. So I do think that um maybe that's a June showcase, reveal.
Yeah. I mean, it's yeah.
I mean, again, up until now, I was kind of hopeful that maybe they're gonna do it. I mean, King brought up, Wukong. I was like, where the hell what happened to Wukong? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where's the release date? Um, but I mean, listen, I think the show was fine. I think it was a good show. Um, I think that it served its purpose, right? So, I think TGS, I think we know Xbox has so much stuff that they can show at any given moment. And we know that there's really a high probability that they'll be able to drop some big news at any given moment, right? And I think they did drop some big news for a subset of people, right? I think if you're a JRPG fan, you got fucking blasted. You got so much stuff. Starcraft coming back. I
Yeah,
know a
and that's the big
lot of
one.
people.
That's the
I think a
that's the
lot
that's
of
the
people are
AAA
losing it over
bomb
that.
for everybody. Yeah,
And that's
indeed.
an old game. You know what I'm saying? But people are pumped for that. I'm actually excited now that we've had so many of these strategy games come out. I'm kind of been in the groove. I've been loving everything Xbox been dropping. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna try StarCraft. But again, obviously another Blizzard game, right? Coming in the Game Pass. This is all good stuff, man. I mean, this is what we expect, right? We
Yeah.
expect to get these games being doled out, and that's what they're doing. They're taking these moments to, give a spotlight, right? Like if they would have just put StarCraft amongst a bunch of other, older games that are being released into Game Pass from Activision Blizzard, it kind of be a waste of a moment, right? I think you had a nice time. He came out with his shirt. I was like, "Oh snap. Is he going to, drop a StarCraft?" And this time he was right on the nose. He was not messing around. He had the shirt and then boom, they talked about it. I also like the fact that they did not when I saw like the Activision Blizzard and all this other stuff that it was going to happen, it was like, are they gonna show us new stuff or are they just gonna repeat the last show? And I mean, pretty much that's what it was, right? They were just kind of showing you stuff that um they already announced. But I like how they just kind of talked about it, right? They didn't make it some big show and dance about it. They were just talking about the other games. I do like that they dropped another trailer for Indie in Japanese, right? So to go ahead and say, "Hey, we're dubbing the game in Japanese. It's going to be there on release," and then just go ahead and straight away show that trailer. Um, I think that was very, very smart move.
Couple of
Um,
points of contention. I want to just jump in. First of all, folks, if you
sure.
see, I'm just doing a test in the background. I'm running
I mean, it's
YouTube.
decent right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm seeing that it's perfect on my end. Again, apologies for the issues that we've been having on the stream. I'm just trying to rule out because interestingly enough, when the gameplay is running and then I did the intro, I heard a clip, like it clicked. So I don't know if that is maybe since they've made all these changes, if you're running gameplay in advance, which is what I normally do, and then you run the intro, which is supposed to pause one and then start the other and then go back. Maybe that's an issue. So far, so good. We're
I
going
mean,
to
it's
keep running the
possible.
footage until up there it is. It's falling down right now as we speak.
Yep.
Yep,
There
there
it
you go.
goes.
So it is a issue. I don't know what that issue is. I have to figure it out. But needless to say, there are 2 points of contention that I want to make mention of, and I think that it's going to get overlooked by many people in the community, and it shouldn't. Now, granted, here in America, obviously, most people have English either as their main or their second, right? So when someone says, oh, I wish they had localization in, you know, for this country, it doesn't personally affect you as a gamer that understands English because the game is in English. There were 2 announcements that I really think went over people's heads, and I think it's a really monstrous deal. And that is Starfield is getting a Japanese localization with voice acting and writing. That is huge. But that's
Absolutely.
also happening, and you mentioned it, to Indiana Jones as well. And I think that those 2 instances should be championed. Like it doesn't if there's I mean there's a lot of there's a lot of criticism that we can give Xbox. Now, some of it is nitpicking, some of it is warranted, some of it is console war rhetoric. This particular instance, one of the things that many people critique them for, and I have to give the smoke, folks, is not immediately or at least at some point doing localization. And this is honestly, see, I think this is a really big deal, in my opinion.
Well, especially when you're showing up there for the show, right?
Yes.
So, you're showing up to TGS, you have a Japanese audience that's watching and you're like, "Hey, we're not going to have your language available or you're not going to have your dub available." I think that's a problem, right? So I think, the fact that they were ready, they knew how important it was to have this ready to go and they did, right? It's going to be there and I think that's awesome news for them. So yeah, I think that's a good thing and obviously they're just going to keep doing that, right? As time goes on, they'll keep moving forward with it. You heard them, we've been seeing it. I mean, Hargeet has been keeping track of like that store out there in Japan that remember Xbox like was number 1 or whatever in sales, and they just kind of wondered if it would taper off, but it really hasn't. Like, it's been in like, it's been third up until I think like 6, so it's like still being bought, a lot over there. And Phil made it known that, we got a lot of Yodobashi, um that they have they have the most amount of consoles being played over there. Like there's growth there for them, so they're gonna invest more in it, right? And I mean, those are good things. I think this was um if you're looking at it from that aspect of it, the show nailed what it was looking to do. It had everything that, really makes up those type of, the games that they really like to play over there, right? And they're bringing them here, and we're all going to be able to enjoy it. And then, thanks to Game Pass, some of the quirky ones are in there, and we're gonna be able to check it out too. And I think overall it was really good. I think the I think the difference that I think a lot of people don't realize, um, especially if you're gonna try to grade this show, right? Where people are, Jeff Keighley he immediately put up a poll on the review without talking about any of the things that got shown at the show. The first thing he does is put up the poll, right? Um, because he was like, all right, this wasn't a crazy show. So maybe we can put a poll up here that doesn't do crazy well, right? He was itching for that. But this is the thing. This was for us, it hits different, right?
I agree.
When you're PlayStation only and you've been waiting and waiting and waiting for something, and then the show on Tuesday happens and that's it. That's what you got. That's what's coming. The only things that were interesting in any way were also coming to Xbox. Um, so it's not like your first party just didn't show up. You know what I'm saying? The first party was just remasters, the Lego game, and then they end with, Ghost of Yotai or whatever it was. And, honestly, that wasn't enough. I mean, hype for them because they finally got the
Listen,
game they want. It wasn't
no, yeah, you know what? Look, I give credit. We talked about it last night. See, Ghost of Yote is what people were waiting for. Now, there are two camps. Some people are like, that's not what I was waiting for because I'm waiting for Jin's story to continue. And I'm in both camps, to be honest with you, because look, maybe it's me bending the knee, quote unquote, for PlayStation, but I'm happy. I'm just a happy gamer that I'm getting more Ghost of Tsushima. Does that make me a monster? I personally don't think so, but if you do, I'm not going to fight you on it. But yes, you're right. Okay, see, that was not the show that PlayStation gamers were hoping for. It was a third
Oh,
party show. End of story. It could, in fact,
yeah.
I think it was Kay Asante that said this. It could have legitimately been a Keeley showcase, and you not be the wiser to it because they had the one big PlayStation game and third parties across the board. So I mean, it is what it is. Um,
Yeah, I don't know. I just for me, we've talked about it on Tuesday night, but this is your first PlayStation 5. Like this is Ghost, but exclusively PlayStation 5, right? Maybe PC, but meaning like exclusively next gen, right? And I'm sorry, but if you're telling me, and I don't mean you in particular, but I'm saying like
yeah, I
just
know
in
what you
people in
mean.
general, that if you're saying that this, like, okay, fine, more game, sure. But like, is that where we are? Like, is that what Sony has now made okay for us? We don't need to think about next gen meaning shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
next gen
yeah.
is
No,
nothing.
you're
Next
not
gen is just
wrong.
PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4 with 4K, right? Like, I'm sorry, like that's ass. That's
Yeah,
ass. Xbox is pushing. Hellblade
yeah,
looks amazing. Fable looks amazing, right? Like we have games coming that look amazing, that look and feel next gen. And now, they're showing Ghost of Yotai. And if you were watching, we did a live react on the screen, right?
Right.
Listen, there's no hiding. We have PlayStations. Like I don't give a shit. I if there's a game I want to play, I want to be able to play it, right? So that's why we own everything. And so as soon as like I didn't finish Ghost of Tsushima. I played it. I think it was fine. I know there's a lot of people who are like think it's
Dude,
their
and I'm right there
their
with you.
favorite
I'm
game.
in the camp. I platinumed it. And how you don't platinum, and that's the thing I want this to be clear. Because then if people want to try and grade your listen, I don't owe anybody an explanation why I love or dislike a game. But no one platinums a game unless you actually love the game. Right? That's clear as day.
Yeah, that's a
So
lot of dedication. That's a lot of
it
dedication.
was freaking hard to platinum that game. That was not easy. And yes, it was dedication, but that's because I absolutely loved the game. You
Yeah, so
enjoyed
you were
it.
into it.
Yeah, oh yes,
Yeah,
100%,
see, for me, I thought
100%.
it was good, but I didn't it wasn't like
The greatest thing
dragging
you've
me
ever
through, keep
played.
peeling me through.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
if I'm looking at a PlayStation game outside of my very known in public love of The Last of Us, right? I'm a Naughty Dog fan. I wish they would get out of wish there was a way for them to just be removed from Sony so they could have some actual, you know, good good funding and not have somebody telling them to make stupid shit. Um but like outside of that, like the first God of War, that was something new, right? It was a fresh take on God of War.
Yeah.
Like like about 3/4 of the way through, I feel like it was, oh my god, like it was so grindy, but the story got me enough that I kind of pushed through and said, "F it, I'll finish it." And I did,
I think
and
that's because
I
you're a
enjoyed that
dad,
game.
to be honest with you. I think that
I
it's
maybe
a
maybe
pinch.
that it
And
it
again, maybe
registered with me.
I'm not I don't have a PhD, folks, but I'm saying that from a dad's perspective, you looking to push through is because if this was your son, you'd
But
do
I think it
exactly that.
flipped on the second game, right? So on the first game, because, it was like when they were small, it was like, "Oh, wow, look at that bonding. I get that relationship. I understand that." But then the second one is when they become older and they become assholes. It's like, "Whoa, whoa." You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I don't need this attitude from you, weird character in the game. No, no, thank you. No, but like I didn't like part 2, right? Like I played it for a while and, it just lost me. Not that I thought it was bad, just didn't keep me hooked, right? I felt like the graphics were up and down. Like some part looked good, some part looked horrible. And it's like I'm not I don't know, man. Like I didn't get a PlayStation 5 to keep playing PlayStation 4 looking games. You know what I'm saying? Like that's I want to move forward. I don't if they would have released another Ghost of Tsushima after that on PlayStation 4, like if this was a PlayStation 4 game and we roll back time, we're not in the PlayStation 5 life yet, and Ghost of Yotai pops up, and it's like, okay, there's a sequel on the same console. Makes sense, right? This is why it looks this way. Bro, you can't tell me that this game looks like amazing. It doesn't. It's just another story,
It
which is
didn't
fine.
yeah, it didn't show that well. I mean, if we're gonna be fair here, there
Yeah.
was a lot of choppiness, especially when she was running with the horses, right? I mean,
Oh,
like,
the
riding with
horses look crazy. We fucking we paused it over there on our show. We're like, we're putting it there. They look ass the PlayStation 2 era. You know what I'm saying? They put a bunch of PlayStation 2
it wasn't a
horses on the
good yeah,
screen.
it wasn't a good showing. But look, see, I don't want to harp on that show, to be honest with you, because again, it had its criticism as being a third party show, and that's really what it was. It did have the one surprise I didn't expect to hear, and again, my connection said
Yeah, we
that
did.
don't expect anything new, and they were wrong. And that means I was wrong because I said don't expect anything new, and they surprised me. So good on Sony for surprising their fans. And obviously, if you're into it, and I am, I'm buying it day one. Great, but see, what is your ultimate grade for today's
Are
Tokyo
you doing
Game Show?
numbers or letters?
I mean, whatever you feel comfortable. Give it a letter, give it a number. Hey,
I
whatever you
would
want to do.
I would say for me personally, because I'm not anybody who knows me knows that I'm not a huge like JRPG dude.
Okay,
Like
that's fair.
I'm not that dude. So for me personally, I would say it would be like I'd say like a B minus,
Okay,
you know what
that's
I'm saying?
fair.
Like
Like
a
7.5, give or
somewhere
take.
yeah, like a 7.5, 8, depending on, the fact that they're in Game Pass gives you like that. I'll probably
That
land on
little
an 8
push over to
because
the left rather to the right. Yeah,
yeah,
I see what you're
because you
saying.
got some of these in Game Pass and I might try them. Listen, this has been a year for me where I've been playing things that I, normally wouldn't, it was very kind of Xbox to give us Age of Mythology for review and Our History Untold for review, which are 2 games that typically, like, see me on the street before I ever touch them and ask me about them, I'll be like, "Nah, it's good." Actually, the fun fact is if you look back on, like, I think maybe when we reviewed something else, I had mentioned, like, I would never, like, ask to review a game like that because
It's just not your
I'm
genre.
predisposed into not liking it. So why
Right.
would I wanna review that? But then, the opportunity came up and I said, "All right, let's go. Let's see what it is." And then, like, I now love Age of Mythology. That the expansion, I was losing my mind. Like, Doodle was sitting next to me. She was losing her mind because we got into Age of Mythology.
And you
And
can play it on
dude,
Xbox too, right?
oh yeah, 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 it's on
Yeah,
Xbox. That's the way we reviewed
I
it. We
have
reviewed
to
it on
I'm not an
Xbox.
RTS guy, but hearing you and Doodle talk about it, I
Oh,
think
dude, she
I
maxed it
am
out.
in your camp where normally that's not for me.
Yes, I'm
But
telling
Imma be
you,
honest
it's
with you,
check it out,
that
man.
Asian, expansion with the dragons and the
Yes.
giants, and I was like,
Yes. Looks
I think
so
I'm missing
dope.
out. Honestly, I have to download
Yes.
it and give it the old college effort. I really do.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's just I see things differently now, like that, not like, honestly,
You've been
StarCraft, if you
brought
woulda
into
shown
the
me StarCraft,
light.
I'm dead ass, dude, dead ass. If you woulda showed me StarCraft before I played Ara or Age of Mythology, I would have been like, all right,
Eh,
great. Great for those
not for
people.
me.
I'm looking forward to trying this, right? Like I want to try this. I want to get Frostpunk. I want to download Frostpunk, try that. Like I'm feeling these things. So now, you know, once I kind of felt like I didn't really care for JRPGs, I really didn't invest in them. You know what I'm saying? Like I really didn't say, let me go buy this JRPG because it's like I know I'm not into it. But listen, people love these mana games. It's in Game Pass now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna try it. I'll see if it's something that I start enjoying. I don't know. Maybe age has changed me. You know what I'm saying? Maybe time has passed and I'm digging some of these
A
more,
lot I
you
think a
know,
lot of it has to do with our
strategic games.
personal time. Again, you run a business, you have a household, you're a husband, you're a father, you have your own the personal, your business. So there's only so much time in a day, and that's the same thing with me. Like literally, like I'm a sweaty, dripping mess because was doing the test stream to make sure everything worked, and it worked then. Now it's not working, so I'm more frustrated than before. But I was working out like an animal, and I didn't even take breaks. Like I literally plowed through the workout to get here on time. And now, as soon as the
Wow.
show was done, I'm jumping into the shower because I feel gross. But I had to do the show, and I
Right.
can't be late for my own show. So here we are. That's really what I'm saying is time is ultimately
Facts.
that's the big thing, at least for us personally. JRPGs, I can only get into one at a time simply because there's just not enough time. And again, what
Yep.
was shown today. So for me, my grade is 8 out of 10, and the reason why it's an 8 out of 10 is simply because of what was shown. We got a couple. I This is for me. Not, I'm going to read everyone's scores because there's been some great comments in here. I've been waiting for the Pixel Collection. I own it for the Switch. And it's great. It's great on the Switch. I wanted it on Xbox. I played those games way
Yeah.
back in the days because I'm old as dirt, right? So I enjoyed all of the Final Fantasies on the NES, and now they're remastered, and I'm buying the collection. And then, and of course, the 4 others that are in Game Pass. That's free. That's pretty freaking cool. Age of Mythology
Absolutely.
is getting a free it's not only in Game Pass, but it's getting the DLC. That is dope, right? So it's a lot to get excited about. Again,
I
my
agree.
issue is that I thought that Square was going to have a bigger presence. I really did. And you have to remember, and this why. So I'm sure I'm going to have to get pushback. Oh, why'd you give this an 8 out of 10 and give the Sony show like a say the Sony show without Ghosts is like a 4 out of 10 or a 5 out of 10 at
Without
best.
Ghost, it's
I,
I
I
don't even
I'm
know if I
I'm
would be putting a number on there.
I'm happy to
It was
give
so
it a
whack.
7. I'm happy to sit with a 7 out of 10 for me, and that's fine. So there's going to be some pushback. Why did you give one a 7 and the other one an 8?
Oh, I
Well,
rate
here
even with
here
Ghost, I would give it a lower score.
yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's perfectly fair. But you got to remember, folks, this is not an American show. It is a Tokyo game show presentation, which means it's for the audience. Now, Hargeet is in the chat, so Hargeet, welcome. He was actually saying something about the Xbox being up in sales and being like I should have saved it, man. I don't know where the hell it is. You know what? Just we got a few minutes. Hargeet, if you got 10 minutes, Hargeet, I'm gonna email you the link. If you want to just drop in and give us the skinny of where Xbox is selling, we'll bring you in for a hot second and get your hot takes, because you did say that it was making some rounds of sales. So I'm just gonna email you a link like I always do, and we'll get you in here if you have a few minutes. I sent it, brother, so check your email, and then we'll get his hot take. But you know
Saint Reborn,
something?
I think the Age of Mythology DLC, I'm not sure if you have to buy it. It said after showing the DLC, it said in Game Pass.
Look,
So I
if
don't
you
know if that I don't know if the Age
I
of
think it's
Mythology DLC is
included.
in Game Pass.
Personally, I
I
think it's
think it's
included.
included.
I really do. I'm not exactly sure, but we will certainly find out soon enough. Look, there is a point of contention that I want to get to that's super important, and then we're going to get into it's actually kind of segues into the Xbox first party timeline. We'll get there in a second. Let me catch up on super chats. First of all, we had two new members join today, one of which was Music 72 during the test stream that worked good. And now this one doesn't.
Nice.
At least the stream well is good. So Music 72, thank you so much for the support. And Dreadful Sean has once again become a member. That is very kind of you, Dreadful Sean. Welcome back. We have Ultraman drop a very generous $2 super chat, and he says, "Hey, Boom and C Money," and of course Hargeet is here.
What's up, fam?
Hargeet, what's up, my brother? Let me just bring to the brand and get you in here, Hargeet. So again, you were correct. You were correct. You what you said last night is what happened.
Yep.
But where is Xbox in regards to sales? You were saying something.
Yeah. So in Japan, I've been tracking for a while. For some reason, like was it like 5-6 weeks ago, it suddenly shot up to #1 on Yodobashi, which is sort of like their Best Buy. So they have Amazon and Yodobashi as their main big e-tailers, and Amazon being #1, and then this is #2. And then it kind of just stayed near the top. Now, it never charted before. Xbox never charted before. Suddenly it shot up to #1, and then it's been at #3 for like the last 5-6 weeks, whatever it's been.
Wow.
And then suddenly I saw, and that was the digital version. Suddenly I saw the Xbox Series X with disc suddenly shot up too. And it became number like 5, and then it became #6, and now it's #7. And this changes every day. So I keep checking every day. At #3 is the all digital. It just keeps it just keeps staying there. It's crazy. It's outselling the Nintendo Switch in Japan.
Awesome. Now, you know when if I
That's
were
great.
to recall, and of course I'm an old man, so I sometimes forget things, but that bounce to #1 happened almost instantaneously when PlayStation raised the price of the PlayStation 5.
Literally when it started.
And well, since then, and now we have confirmation from Hargeet, who's live on the air with us. So thank you so much for being there, brother. That is confirmation that they are. This was an important event for Xbox in Japan, and I think that but again, not for me, folks. But I guarantee you, and I have not been making the rounds on the socials. But that's StarCraft 1 and 2 going into Xbox Game Pass for PC. That is a monster-sized deal. Make no mistake. And here's the thing. I've said this before, and I will say it again. Japan, China, Korea, very PC heavy, but very mobile. They're mobile gamers. Now, this has changed over the course of the last decade, where it used to be very, especially in Japan, people would line up for 3 days to get the next Nintendo console. But they don't game like that anymore. They are handheld. They are portable. I am telling you right now, which is why I really believe in my heart of heart, and I said this last night, Hargeet, that the handheld that we know that they're working on, that you and I personally spoke to a couple of people in LA, and we won't no names here. And means Hargeet stood shoulder to shoulder speaking to a couple of people. That piece of hardware is happening. I believe that they're going to show it off at the Game Awards personally. And I think it's coming out next year.
But we'll see if it's ready. That's the big question, right? Is when is it going to be ready? I think it would be perfect to show it at the Game Awards because Nintendo
show at the Game Awards
stuff, right? We have a new console coming from PlayStation. It's a good time to say, hey, we're in the party too. Here you go. Right? Even if it comes out next year, fine. Nintendo's coming out next year, right? But they're going to announce next month, right? So it's time to showcase, hey, we got something coming too. And it might be very exciting. So,
well, listen, I want to just read the last couple of supers here, and then Hargeet, while you're here, this passed over a lot of people's heads. Shout out to Hazardor Gaming once again. The guy is just like a monster. He's like a machine. He consistently puts out amazing tweets and really important information. I'm going to break it down in a second. Dan Lazaro, Dan, what's going on, my brother? Thank you so much for being a part of the show, as you always are. And he drops a very generous $5 super chat. Dan goes on to say, if Xbox had that showcase, people would have whined for days. One first party that clearly wasn't ready to be shown and will not release in 2025. You know what's interesting? I keep hearing people talk about that. Again, they said
they clip me like a million times.
Well, that's the clipping thing has become a real thing. Like
normal, right?
You clip me all you want. I'm not running.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
It's fine. It's
fun for sure.
It's disingenuous behavior. I don't like it, but I'm not going to fight back against it. If you clip me and you want to say, "Oh, look at that asshole boomstick," it's fine. You'd be surprised what I heard as a cop. So what you're going to say to me on social media is not going to faze me. I'll give you the heads up now. But Aries _EMS, and this is generosity out there. Oh my goodness, has gifted 10 double barrel gaming memberships. Now he's done this before. Aries _EMS. Awesome. Thank you so much for there we go. I appreciate that. I got to get this thing. I haven't look. I can't show you on camera. The cord's not long enough. I have a Stream Deck. It's right here, and I don't use it because you know what? I'm a knucklehead. I'm going to get that fixed. But we also have Balatone, who has become a channel member once again. Balatone, thank you so much for supporting the channel. We truly appreciate it. And we also have King Webb, who has dropped a $2 super chat. So King Webb, welcome and thank you. He says, remember, Square comes on tomorrow. Maybe okay, you know something? That's it. That is absolutely it, brother. You are 1,000% correct. I didn't even equate that. So shout out to King Webb. Square's presentation is happening tomorrow. So I guarantee you that the Final Fantasy 16 and whatever else might actually happen tomorrow. That's interesting. That's a fantastic. You
don't think Xbox would want to put that on their stage?
So that's kind of. We'll see. Maybe they do something weird like that, but. I would think more things like Foam Stars, right? Foam Stars is going to go free to play. It's going everywhere. That kind of thing. I think they would probably announce that. Yeah. Because they don't need to get that to revive.
Foam Stars. I don't know, man. Free to play or not. I don't listen.
Yeah.
If it's
I wouldn't
free,
see and
I'll try
I never thought
it,
that was going to be on the stage.
Maybe Forspoken gets announced for actual Xbox.
Yeah, but available FF16? I think they would want that on the stage, right?
I think so.
I think 16 they would want it on the stage.
Yeah. I think so also. I think you guys are onto something, but it didn't happen.
See what happens.
So again, that's my biggest takeaway from the TGS Xbox showcase was there was no Final Fantasy 16, at least. Jez had said earlier in the week, don't expect 7, which I am really, really hoping for at some point because I want to play it on Xbox. I own it on PlayStation 4 and bought the upgrade for 5 like a dope. But I did because
one other thing, Boom, that could happen. This is just throwing it out there. Is Final Fantasy 7 is likely to be a Game of the Year contender, right? So maybe at the Game Awards, they do an announcement of, hey, Final Fantasy 7 coming to Xbox. And
I mean, it's certainly possible.
Final Fantasy 16 coming to Xbox, right? That would be a big moment with a lot of eyeballs, right? You kind of have to pick your shows where you want to say, hey, this big thing is coming over.
So, I mean, again, I think we're gonna get some big bombs at Jeff's show.
I just
and
would
it's not
love
gonna
for
be,
it to happen so that I can laugh. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
That's all
yeah,
it
right.
is. It's the only
So
reason. I have no care about playing these games. I have it on PlayStation and I played it for a
yeah,
little bit. And that was
but
that.
see, actually want to play it on Xbox, so I'm in the other camp. But I will say this personally, this is just me, and we're gonna get into the next topic, folks. And I just last 2 super chats, but I would not allow Sony to run wild with Jeff with their 30th anniversary in December, and Nintendo potentially, maybe showing up to the Game Awards with a surprise of a Switch 2 announcement or something. You cannot allow your competitors to go unchecked. Me personally, and I'm no master of marketing, I would have, even if it's just a mock-up, if you will, of what the handheld is going to look like, because I'm sure that they know what it's going to look like. They need to bring it and just say, "Yeah, Xbox handheld you've been asking for." Let Sarah Bond come out on stage. She's the president. Give her the shine that she deserves and let her announce that on that showcase. And I would do it again the same way they did it in 2019, not tell Jeff shit. Oh, we're going to just show a Game Pass trailer and blow out his eardrums. That's what I would do. But then again, I'm not in charge of marketing. And I say yet by looking into the camera, Xbox, the LinkedIn pages update. Give me, send me an invite. Pay for the.
Look, you have to use Jeff for what he has. He has a
so
platform, and you use it.
use
Whatever,
him
right?
like
Use
he
it last
uses
year.
you. So there you go.
Exactly. You use it.
I think
use the
the
platform.
handheld. The only thing about the handheld is that it depends on where they're coming in with it. Like, what is the handheld going to be? Because the last thing you want to do is have Nintendo come out next month in October and show you like a beast of
going
a
to.
fucking system,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
and
not going
then
to.
and then
Nintendo's
Xbox shows up with just like, hey, this is your Series S and a handheld.
The
You know, like
Me Too.
I don't know if that's the same level of excitement.
I don't think it's going to be.
for
I think they're going to
just
surprise
for
us, dude.
optics. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe you're not
let's see what they
wrong.
do. Let's see
You're
what they do.
definitely not wrong. But listen, Reggie Mobile 9, who's been a channel member for 47 months, dude, that is
Nice.
crazy generous of you. He says, "Great show, Boom, C Money, and Hargeet. Thank you so much for the kind words, and thank you so much for the support." OG Frost drops a very generous $20 super chat.
Oh man.
And he goes on to say, "Happy birthday, belated birthday.
Yes.
Sorry I missed the stream last night." Nah, don't sweat it, brother. It's perfectly fine. And thank you so much for the kind words and the generosity. But listen, this is where I think the rubber hits the road. So during Phil Spencer's welcome to the Japanese audience, he specifically mentioned that Avowed, South of Midnight, Doom the Dark Ages, and Fable were releasing on Xbox next year, right?
Yeah, confirmed.
But that wasn't where it ended, C Money. Again, according to Hazardor Gaming on, of course, on X, shout out to him, Microsoft's Phil Spencer affirmed more first-party content in 2025 besides Avowed, South of Midnight, Doom the Dark Ages, and Fable. Now, let me just say this right off the bat. 3 of those 4 games are console exclusive. Doom, the Dark Ages are going to be releasing on PlayStation, and that's perfectly fine. So did the other Doom, so who gives a shit? That's going into Xbox Game Pass. Money well worth it. If you are going to drop those 4 games only, that is a PlayStation level 2018, 2019, and 2020 group of games, meaning banger after banger after banger. But see, and again, this is where the tinfoil hat starts to come on over the mohawk. It's according to Phil and according to Hazardor Gaming's tweet, and he's right because I watched it twice. He doesn't end it with that. There is other content from first party happening. I still think that is the game from In Exile. I really do think that game is going to be ready to rock and
Revolution.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Indeed.
I don't know. Did it ever have a date?
Nope.
Given to it?
It didn't even show up. It didn't even show up at the June showcase. The last time we saw it was the showcase before, when we first saw what they were doing, and that game looked polished then. But to be fair, In Exile and their social media are consistently throwing out the teases. Like, they are out there, and they no one does it better than them. Their social media team is freaking phenomenal.
They're funny. They're really funny.
So, see,
funny group of guys.
The question very simply is this: if Xbox were to simply just release Avowed, South of Midnight, Doom: The Dark Ages, and Fable, that's all they have to do. That's a banger. That's a banger year, and it's going to be better than PlayStation. And we don't know. Hargeet may have some pushback because he believes, like me, Nintendo is going to be dropping some bombs next year for their new console, and we've heard some rumors.
We know that.
But
I think we know that
these are banger titles, but it's not going to be the only ones. What are your thoughts?
Well, we also got to remember, we have the next Call of Duty, right? So Call of Duty for sure,
yes,
is part of that, right? So, so I think that was a big one that's going to be there. But I mean, listen, if that's all that we have, like if those are the games that are the big ones, obviously we know, and I think like Towerborn, we know is going to be one of the games next year, right? Because Steam Early Access this year, but next year is going to be coming out. Like we know that they're going to be sprinkling other games, right, in there. I would consider those to be the pillars, right? I would say the fact that he didn't bring up Clockwork, and the fact that we really haven't seen Clockwork again since it was first, essentially first revealed. I honestly think that they're gonna push that one back. I think that one will be, most likely 2026. I think that that's a year for the year of the release of the new console, right? Let's go ahead and have a banger lineup for 2026. We already have, Gears, we have Perfect Dark, we have State of Decay, and now I would even put Clockwork in that. So you already got 4 lined up for 2026, which I think is great. I mean, I see in the chat people bring it up. We kind of forget about it, but like Contraband, right? That hasn't been mentioned since then. So either that game could be gone, maybe it didn't work out with them. I know that there was some problems with the devs, but
hopefully come out.
If
we mention
not
Everwild?
Gone, then maybe
isn't that still being worked on?
Everwild is still another game that we don't know where it's going to sit, where it's going to land, right? But that's also going to be a big game relatively soon, right? But again, you got to remember, they're constantly going to be announcing new stuff, right? And the thing is right now he's just dropping like the old stuff, right? Like the stuff that we've already known about, and now he's just kind of reaffirming.
To be ready, by the way, by 2026, right? Because Psychonauts is 2021.
Yeah,
that's 5 years.
Yeah,
they should be ready by then. So
I mean, and for their scope of game, I mean, for theirs, unless they're doing something crazy, I mean, I would even say next year we can get a surprise game from Double Fine. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think we'll see. I think we'll see it next year. I think we're going to see it next showcase. We're definitely going to see their.
Yeah,
it's been enough time. I
because
think it's time to see it.
I would assume that this is going to be the year, because we have like 2025 already essentially mapped out. We got 2026 pretty much mapped out. That you get another boost of games that are going to be forward. Right, Blade.
Did you mention Elder Scrolls, by the way?
I saw Elder Scrolls 6 in here. We did not, but that's most likely.
Elder Scrolls 6, I think, is going to be launch window of that next console. So
what about Gears? And what about, again? I don't know if maybe I stepped away just for a second.
I think it's Halo, Gears, Forza are going to be there, but they can't be at the same date, right? But they're probably in the same like launch window, because I think you basically say, hey, we're going to launch with Halo and Forza. Those are going to be the 2 to launch. And then within the next 6 months, you get Elder Scrolls and you get Gears.
We got to have a show just talk about 2026.
And
2026 is a whole different beast.
Dark is going to be available.
Yep.
Right. And then on top of that, you have OD and Blade. Right.
Yep.
So
OD, forgot about that.
Yeah, me too.
It just keeps going. There's so much, and there's so many studios still working on stuff that we haven't actually heard about yet. So there's plenty of options. Right? So
well, I mean, you also
the
have
keeps going.
Yeah, I mean, Wolfenstein is being worked on in the background. They're going to do a new Wolfenstein, right? That's around the corner. Obviously, there's going to be a fallout at some point. I personally think that because of the popularity of the TV series, I think that this is just speculation, folks. We're just here shooting a breeze. I think that they cannot wait.
Outer Worlds 2.
Outer Worlds freaking 2.
Outer Worlds 2. I was just thinking of Obsidian. What's about? Okay, what's next? Oh yeah, Outer Worlds 2.
Yeah, look, Karate Laundromat, talk about that people can fly game.
Yes, certain Infinities also. Yeah, great picks.
Oh. There's so much, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
they really are hitting on all cylinders.
I don't know if that Project Dragon is still on. That was like the IO game, right?
IO's still working on it. Yeah.
And
they're also working on the James Bond game.
Yeah. But that's going to be everywhere, I assume.
Yeah, I don't know what probably be everywhere. It's fine.
Dragon, whatever is still happening or whatever it is.
Yeah, there's so much, man. There's so much coming. And it's like, this is the fun part.
Game or something like
that? Yeah, that was a rumor. The fun part is that this is not like in the past where it's like, man, we're talking about 2026 because we have nothing till then. Right. But we just spent all this time talking 2026. We can dial back a year, talk about 2025, or we could dial back and talk about what the rest of what we have coming.
Now it's really just like they're gonna have stuff in their back pocket to to be able to release it sometime because they don't have schedule. Right. And you have to take a look at the fact that GTA 6 is coming out possibly next year, maybe the year after, right? Whenever it's coming out, and then you want to like just push away from that. You do not want to put your game next to that because it's going to eat up the industry for a while. So you want to make sure you're not going to be, and that's one of the things with the Ghost 2 is like if it's coming out next year, do you want to do the same thing you've done over and over again to like Horizon where it comes out next to big games, or do you say I'm staying away from that game? So if that comes out in September, that's it. We're not releasing it. It's going to be before that or no, right? So, and then they have to somehow fit in Marathon Fair games, right? At some point, those are going to come out, assuming they come out next year, right? So, if you're going to do that, then is that a like June game? Is that what they're thinking to do? I don't know. Like,
yeah,
they didn't really give us a date, right? So it's like it's 2025, just like they did with Ragnarok. I think you're pointing out this, money, right? They did that with Ragnarok. They said, "Hey, it's coming 2021." Did it come out 2021? It really didn't, though. So,
nope.
Took a full year later.
Nope.
Hey, it is what it is, though, right?
So I mean, real quick, some thoughts and theories to what you're just saying, right? And again, I don't want to take the spotlight off of talking about Xbox because that's what we're here to talk about. But interestingly enough, it just popped in my head when you were saying it. I saw a lot of rhetoric on the socials where the trailer seems rushed, right? And like you said, both C Money and Hargeet, there were quite a few parts of the video that did not look good. It just didn't.
For Ghost,
right?
Yeah.
Are you talking about Yote?
Yes. So here, so my
thought, all the gameplay looked crap.
Yeah, my thought and theory is maybe this was a rushed to get done trailer.
We were saying that on the show, right?
Yeah, that's literally what
it seemed like they tacked it on at the end.
It looks like the show ends
somewhat roadmap, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think it was a response to the Pro. And I think you saw that play out today, right? Where we knew that the 30th anniversary was gonna fly,
Team
right?
Scalper, they won again.
Because the scalpers were gonna get them, right? For sure.
And I was one of them.
Yes. You get one?
To be getting my money. Oh, yes,
good for you, dude.
He's going to be putting it up on eBay.
You know what's funny?
We all tried it, all failed.
I'm such a cheapskate. So yesterday on the stream, I said, "Yeah, you're gonna sell for $2,000." He said, $2,000? What? More like $5,000.
That thing costs like $1,200. Like,
yeah.
People have it. Somebody has it for $12,300. We'll see. What.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm definitely going way higher than $2,000.
But we did see it play out where it's like, their fear was justified, right? Because the Pro with the 30th anniversary obviously gone in seconds, right? Like
seconds,
that was just
literally seconds,
super gone, right? People got it right away, and you saw them all lined up on eBay immediately.
Yep.
But the Pro itself, just like we all kind of talked about, was pretty easily available.
Yeah.
Like it really didn't. I don't know if it's sold out now, but for something like this, like you would expect if people were feverish about it, it would have been gone, right? Like if you're waited like 40 minutes after or 50 minutes and people are still posting, I got one, I just got one. That's not showing a huge like rush, right? So I
Demand.
think they saw the response to the Pro, and
Yep.
then they figured out how to do it. Now, like I saw a lot of rhetoric out there where people are coming at us because oh, these trailers take months to cut and blah 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 blah. Sure, months to cut. It's a CGI trailer or their cutscene that they're showing. You don't think that they've shown Sony, you don't think that they've produced anything to show the people who are in charge of the games that they're making, like, hey, look at what we have so far. Look at this. It's a cutscene, dude. And then every time they showed any gameplay, it all looked again, it just didn't look good, right? It just didn't look good. That's just the reality. It
Look,
looks
I
like a
mean,
PlayStation 4 game. Just what it is.
They used to do an awesome job with their trailers. It's
They
just the way it
did.
is,
They
right?
used to.
And it's their standard we're judging them against. They set the bar up here. We didn't. They set it here.
Yeah, the first
Now you're
Ghost of
saying, well,
Tsushima
okay.
trailer was fucking dope. Like they didn't even have like they literally when they showed that game in 2016, and what year did that game actually come out?
2020.
The first Ghost of Tsushima?
2020 is when the
June?
first one came out.
So they showed it 4
June,
years
2020.
before,
Yeah.
right? 4 years
Yep.
before, right? And 4 years before, they went ahead and started that bitch with gameplay. Literally, you set it out there, you see the shot by the trees. We played it on the thing because I knew it. I was so much more impressed with the old trailer than this one, right? Like, and then boom, immediately you're right into the gameplay. You're going in and you just see it. That shows a company who is prepared to show their game and who was ready, right? Showing cutscenes that does not say we're prepared and ready to show the game. Did you read the article, their blog post on it? Barely any detail, almost like they don't have it all figured out yet as to what the rest of the game is going to actually
Kinda
be.
weird, right?
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
again,
but
but see, money to be again to kind of bring it back around to Xbox. This may have been a response to what Xbox has already shown, because again, if there's criticism to give Xbox in the past, it has been the way that they did their where we didn't see enough. Well, June's showcase, I really think it was a drop the gauntlet kind of a moment. It really was. And both Hargeet and I were ass in seat in the auditorium, and it was electrifying. It was something I've never experienced before. And again, we're in almost October, and we're still talking about June. Not because we don't have anything to talk about, but how powerful a presentation it was.
Because it was amazing.
And you have to compare apples to apples. What has Jeff done? His shows have been not really great. What has PlayStation done? They have not been great. The only one that has been pretty consistent is Nintendo, but their directs are always what you expect them to be, and then there's always a surprise more. That's just Nintendo. But still, I'm wondering,
and we've had multiple shows. Like Xbox has
Yes.
multiple shows. It's not just the one. And that, I think that was the point I was trying to make, and then we kind of moved away from it. But like for Sony, like that's their one show that we just got.
Yep.
And it was not good, right? Well, for Xbox, we just had this Tokyo Game Show, and yeah, I rated like 7.5, 8 if I throw in the idea of Game Pass getting a lot of those games. It's like that's just one of many. You know what I'm saying? This is one of many shows that we've had. We got our main meal, right? Like the main course was served and it was mighty, mighty fine, right? Like we enjoyed the F out of that course. Where now everything is just, dessert, extra, more that's to come, right? And then we do know here on Xbox that most likely the Game Awards is going to be another Xbox showcase, right? Where they're going to show us more. And then what's going to happen in January, we're going to get the developer direct for whatever's coming for the rest of the year,
probably,
and then the cycle continues. And we already know that we're starting our year off. This is not like last year where they wanted to give us smoke because Hellblade came out in May, right? So
And
there
that
wasn't
was
a
the first big
big
one of the year.
first
Yeah.
quarter release, right? Well, guess what, fam? We start in the year with the banger. We got Avowed in February, and that is going to set us off for the rest. And you already heard our boy Phil confirming Fable, confirming the other games that we got coming out. It's just it's a different situation for us over here. And I love how they all conveniently want to decide what's a game or not, right? Or decide what's real or not, or what a gamer is or not, because they are so used to their one method of game. And we know that any deviation equals failure for them, right? Any game that comes out that doesn't line up with Spider-Man, God of War, Last of Us, if it doesn't line up with that, it equals failure over there. Over here, they want to treat it like we've only released Hellblade. Like they don't want to give any idea or any credit to the fact that we got Age of Mythology that came out and it was highly rated and it
Yes.
was an amazing game.
Yep.
Ara just came out. Very well done. Amazing game. We loved it. Got really great
They got
scores
very good
from
scores.
a lot of people. Some people
the rest of the year,
were
all
shaky.
of their games see money.
And then we got more, dude.
Well.
Every week, dude. Guys, like this is the shit that they're cracked out on. We had we had Age of Mythology, we had Ara. We're talking weeks apart, right? And then a week after that, what do we have? Shattered Space. A week after that, what do we have? Diablo
next
4.
Week? That's
Yes.
next week, right?
Yeah,
Monday.
next week. Yeah, Monday.
Monday.
Yeah, Monday. Yep.
Monday, dude.
Oh yeah.
Monday.
Which, by the way, I had to relearn that game. I started playing this morning, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't played in a long time. So I'm
Starfield?
like, no, yeah, I've downloaded all the updates. I just haven't played because it's not enough time in the day. You know what I'm vexed about? And it's funny, I was telling Asante, again, this is just a bit of an offshoot. The rover, right? The is available. So I'm like, all right, let me go get the rover.
Yeah, but how do you get it?
Right. I went to go buy it, and this is my new game plus, with the Starborn
And so you
ship.
don't have any money.
I had only 18 grand. And then I'm like,
much is
okay, it's 25 grand you have to have. So now dude, I told Asante this.
I'm gonna have to pre-play then.
Check it out, folks. So if you've ever growing up didn't have enough money for a game, and my brother Neo Mental's listening right now. He's gonna laugh his balls off in this story. We didn't have enough money for him to get the PlayStation and Resident Evil. He sold wires and plugs and you name it. So what I was doing in Starfield, I almost felt like a Crackadonian. I was selling screwdrivers and mirrors and anything to earn money to get the the rover, and I still don't have it. So now I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go do them.
You gotta do missions, man. You
I'm
gotta do
gonna
missions, get
do right
paid, bro.
now.
Do missions and get
which
paid.
by the way, see, to your money, to your, again, we're all over the place on this show. Again, hit the like button, hit the down button if you don't like it.
It's a fun show, guys. All right,
it's a fun show. Live on the air, and you can't really see. I just, and I have not actually done it because I'm not going to do it, but I put it into my cart. The PlayStation 5 Pro is still available.
Wow.
Right now.
I'm telling you.
It was available at 6
we were joking.
And it's still available.
They thought we were joking. They thought we were playing. Listen, the reality is,
it's very expensive.
It's just too much money.
Yeah, it is.
Listen, if you were looking to get one and you got one, I'm happy for you. That's dope, right? That's cool. Yeah. I'm glad you're gonna enjoy your games better. I can tell you one thing: all this Digital Foundry shit that has been coming out, dude. If we learned anything about it, it's not that the PlayStation 5 Pro is amazing. Is that we now see how shit the PlayStation 5 really is. Yep. They have dissected the shit. Every developer that came up on that stage that Digital Foundry was interviewing was like, well, before the console really just sucked ass, and now we can finally make something that's decent, right? Like that's all we found out. So listen, if you can afford it, I think that yes, you should buy a PlayStation 5 Pro if you've been stuck on a PlayStation 5 with that booty ass game holding everybody else back because no developer wanted to push forward. Now you go upgrade, go get yourself a PlayStation 5 Pro. But guess what? What's happening? it's the first day, right? It's the first day.
And it's not so.
And
The only thing that's
it's
sold out is
not
everything
sold
30th
out.
anniversary.
I know in like
Everything is gone.
UK was sold out,
Gone.
but listen, I'm sorry, but if you make a little bit of something and it sells out, that's not like, oh my God, that's impressive, right? The fact that we know for sure, they're not making a shit tons of PlayStation 5 Pros. They're not. This
They've
is
already
a
said they weren't.
mid-gen.
Yeah.
This is a mid-gen refresh. They know they're not going to get the same type of influx. They're not making a shit ton. And even still, it's still available. All right. So listen, if you're listening to this and you're like, man, I missed out, you didn't.
You
If
can
you
go get it
saw
right
those,
now.
if you saw those
Go to
videos, if you
PlayStation
saw
Direct,
Digital
you can get it
Foundry
right now.
and you were like, yo, I could finally play performance mode on Final Fantasy VII without Vaseline smeared across the screen, go get it. It's worth it to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, just go spend the money. Go get it. Go get it. You'll have fun. It'll be fine.
I can't spend.
It's just too much money for most people.
Just for the
it's
base
too much
console.
money for most people.
I can't. I can.
Just what
I just
it is,
refuse to, because again, I have I'm looking at my shelf. What 13, 14 PlayStation 5 games on disc that I got super cheap. Last of Us, the part 1 that was redone, I bought that. Final Fantasy 16, I bought that. A few others. So I'm a disc guy. I need the disc drives. That means, well, first of all, it's all you. I would have to go to eBay because disc drives are sold out everywhere. Everyone just went and started scalping those things, which sucks.
Well, the scalpers got to it first,
and of course, I because it's such an ugly console, I like to hide it behind. Mrs. Boom was like, "You can't have that out," and she's not wrong. It's an eyesore, so it's behind the TV. But I don't. I like the. So again, right now I just moved it, or I've kept it that way where it's vertical because it's the only space I have. But before I had it standing vertically because it's an ugly looking thing. And it was always behind the TV. Recently, I just moved it, and now it's vertical with the when I changed the Spider-Man plates, as you've seen in many of the pictures I tweet. And I like the Spider-Man plates, but it's in a position where it's vertical, where it's horizontal. It's fine where it is. It's not in anyone's way. It has air, but I'd have to buy because if I got the Pro, I would wind up putting it back behind the TV, and I need the vertical stand. So I have to spend $830. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I just don't think it's worth it. And the fact that you can still buy it.
You could always live on the edge, Boom, and just stand that bitch up without the stand and just hope nothing ever hits your table. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't have kids and I don't have
strap that shit down.
So I could use glue strips and just kind of stick it
down. Get a book, bookends. You know what I'm saying? Just get two heavy duty bookends and just squish.
Yeah, I'm not doing that with an $800 device. I'm just not gonna do that. But look, at the end of the day, folks, this was one of those shows that we were a little bit all over the place, but we had fun. Hopefully, you had fun. We had a special guest, Hargeet. Didn't expect him to be here, but he gave us the update on. Well, even sales, in Japan, Xbox is selling, and the fact that it's been at number 3 for 5 weeks. I didn't know what store brand you would compare that Japanese company to when you said it was like Best Buy. Yeah. And that's Best Buy is one of the bigger electronic stores here in the US. So that's a really big deal. It is a really monster-sized deal that it's still tracking because it's the Xbox. Xbox normally doesn't even get a fart in the wind in Japan. And well, now it seems like it's tracking it. And I mean, is it going to overtake Sony or play?
No, this is just good news. It's just good
news. But it's good news.
Console sales. Yeah. It's not like we're up here like, oh shit, the consoles are selling, yo. No, nobody gives a hell that that's happening. The point is that for Japan, it's good to see that there's interest that's growing, right? And again, the same way as you look at the Pro, as soon as that price increased, the interest went elsewhere. Right? You increase the price, the interest goes somewhere else. And that's what just happened. So, again, as much as you might look at it and think that these people are so like dedicated to a certain brand or a certain console, people are dedicated to their wallets first.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're in 2024 where everything is expensive and you have to be. I'm sorry. 100%. Like I said, I'm not saying I don't have disposable money. We all do to some extent, but you got to ask yourself: is an investment?
Everything's a choice, right? Everything's a choice.
It's just an investment. Like for instance, I got a lot of pushback because I want to reserve the 2 terabyte Series X, but I got $400 for my old launch console, so it's going to cost me $200 for an extra terabyte of space. And is that worth it? Well, it's worth it to me because
And
that's
that's what
where
a lot of people are gonna do with the Pro too, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people are taking
they
some
should.
dudes already took their shit in. 2
Yeah.
months, they're gonna go 2 months without PlayStation. It's the only console they got. They're gonna go 2 months without PlayStation because they got the value now, and they'll just wait for the Pro. So, I mean, this is what's happening, right? People are going to do it the best way they can to afford this crap. It's all luxury, right? Nobody needs any of it. Honestly, if you're a PlayStation person, you just need a PlayStation 4 and you're good to go because everything is out for there that matters. This other stuff, man, as much as it's crazy that this is where prices are, you just kind of have to accept what it is. If you want to
It's
go
fine. Like I said,
spend the
trade your
money,
stuff
go spend
in.
the money, man.
Trade your stuff in. Again, they're giving, I think, $400 for the PlayStation 5. Now I don't know how long it's going to last because they're going to have an influx. But if you want to get the Pro, and I don't know when GameStop is going to have it. I don't see anybody in the chat that works at GameStop.
I would imagine like come release time,
Oh,
like what is it
sure,
in November
sure.
or whatever that comes out, like that's when they're gonna be like, hold on, no more with this extra money, right? They're gonna just
They're going to cut it down.
they're gonna cut it down because they know you're gonna
Under
want it
like
at that point.
$200 or
Yeah.
something like that. And you're like, yeah, at that point, oh no, then definitely don't do that because you're going to be spending. Then you're
It
spending
just comes down to
$500.
sales volume, right? And
Yep.
if they are limited in supply of the normal PS5, then somebody trading in a PS5 actually gives them value, right? As far as GameStop, it's just supply and demand, right? If there's a demand for it, then it makes it more useful for them to give you more money.
Yeah, Abdel114 saying, I'm doing the Hargi trick using Microsoft gift cards to buy the 2 terabyte Series X on the store. Yeah, I have almost 300,000 points on my Microsoft the reward points.
Yeah, no, this is I think what he's saying is when you trade in your console, you can get because you get store credit, you get a better amount of credit towards your trade in. But if you do that, it's in store, right? One thing you could do is instead of having to wait to buy something from GameStop, you could just buy gift cards from GameStop.
That's what I do. Yeah, I got a gift card. I have a $400 gift card just waiting for the console to come out. When it's I think Psychonauts, who's a manager, who's on Mav's show on a regular basis, said that tomorrow you'll be able to reserve it because you can reserve the white discless one and the 1 terabyte S, yes, but you cannot, not the 2 terabyte.
But you can buy it on the Microsoft Store if you have it as Microsoft gift card.
That's I have all my stuff tied to GameStop. That's why I didn't buy, because I originally reserved.
That's what we're talking about. So you could go to
Yeah.
GameStop and say, "Hey, take my credit and make it into a gift card for Microsoft Store."
Interesting.
And then
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
And then you go to the Microsoft Store, redeem it, and say, "Okay, I'm going to buy it from Microsoft Store." Done. Right? That's what he's talking about.
Pretty freaking interesting. I should actually freaking do that rather than wait for GameStop because I can get it from Microsoft. Yeah, that's smart. Right? I didn't even think about it. Shout out to you, Abdel, and of course, Hargi. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for checking out the show. Apologies for the quote unquote technical issues that we have and we continue to have, but at least the stream is working and you just got to see my ugly face. Everyone else is handsome, so it's fine. But see, money. Let's get you out of here, brother. Obviously, we got to talk about On Point for Gamers. You and Doodle do an amazing job keeping the gaming populace, if you will, up to date on all of the happenings in gaming. Hargeet is a big part of that. He's there each and every week, quite a couple times a week.
This is Hargeet week. It's Hargeet week. Hargeet was on Tuesday. Hargeet's on tonight. Hargeet's on tomorrow. We're messing around.
Well, we definitely appreciate his expertise in the gaming space. But listen, sell the brand, brother. Tell everyone where they can not only subscribe and continue to help your amazing channel grow, but where could they follow you on social media?
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, Boom, thank you, brother, for having me, man. I look forward to the show all the time, man. So thank you so much.
We have a lot of fun.
Thursdays, 12 o'clock. Don't believe the title that he writes because sometimes we're just gonna have to change it because we only talk about some of the shit. It's just what happens here. But no, man, I always have a good time. So thank you guys. You can follow me right here.
Yep, there it is. See Money
X. See Money forever. check me out there. We have some fun slapping up some ponies every once in a while. We're not too abusive, just enough. You know what I'm saying? Like just enough where they could feel it, and then cry for a long time.
Well, you know
right?
what?
And I
It's
sit
not
there
the
and
common gamer. It's the people, the extremists that come into the chat
yeah,
and try to be
yeah. Oh
abusive,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then they
Yep.
f around and find out. That's the problem.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's fun. It's fun. They are crying a lot more vocally now, which is great. Like I'm really like they're taking like I'm sure somebody will clip something here, right? Because they love doing
Oh,
it now. Like there's like their
fine.
their
That's
new
fine.
their new favorite pastime, right? But then they all share it around, and it's like thank you. What I do is now is I go in there and I put the thank you hands and I post a link to our channel.
That's
And
pretty
dude,
good.
you know how many people have been subscribing to the channel from it? It's great.
That's hilarious.
Keep
So
doing it,
basically,
fam.
you're using
You know what?
reverse tactics.
You got to remember, this is what people don't realize. They have these big subscriber numbers, right? Like they're pumped. Oh, look at all these people who follow me. But they don't realize how many people hate follow them, right? Like they don't like them, but they just to watch to clip them or
I
say
have a
anything.
few
So what
that
they
do
don't know
that,
is they have
actually.
enemies. They have enemies who are following them. And what they don't realize is that the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So they're showing a new group of people who never saw me or our channel, and this is beautiful. Just keep coming in. It's wonderful. Keep doing it, guys. I hope I said something worthy of clippage tonight. No, but guys, our channel's On Point for Gamers. If you haven't heard of us, I did put the link in the chat. Come check us out. We do reviews. We have our live show. We just reviewed our History Untold, which was fire. Definitely go check out that review. And we actually have I don't know, I don't think I don't know if they're doing something else, but we did get a code for Shattered Space, which is really, really dope. Comes out Monday. So definitely look out for some coverage on that. It's gonna be a fun time. Um, and our live shows, we do them 4 a week. So we do Sundays, is our morning show, 10 a.m. Eastern time. That's what Do Don't See Money. Very chat focused show. We have a great time. Just talking shit or whatever the topic is a good time. Then we do Tuesday nights is Night Quest, which is basically like Morning Quest, but with a guest. This past one was with Hargeet, which was really, really fun. Kind of went in on the on the state of piss or state of play. Sorry, I slip up of the words. And then Thursday night, which is tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday is 8 p.m. as well. Is the On Point for Gaming podcast. And Hargeet will be there as well. We'll talk about the state of not the state of play, the TGS show today, and whatever else is going on. So we're gonna have some fun tonight. And then Friday nights is the night shift Let's Talk Gaming, which is our wild show that always tends to go.
That's the no holds barred show.
Yeah, it's Friday night. Everybody's feeling good. Chat's feeling good. We get a little wild, but definitely come rock with us, man. A lot of the homies are here right now, so we appreciate you guys. But yeah, man, we have fun. Come check us out. It's a good time. And of course, again, remember Thursdays, 12 p.m. Xvlog Live.
Appreciate it very much. Shout out to Ultraman, who drops an additional very generous $10 super chat. And this is awesome. He says, "Boom, sorry I forgot your birthday. What's up, Hargeet and C? Brother, no
Ultraman,
apologies necessary, and the generosity is incredibly welcomed." And before we get to Hargeet's outro, don't forget, folks, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mrs. Boom and I are giving away $500 worth of gift cards for the 6th annual Boom's Birthday Bash. My birthday happened on Wednesday yesterday, but you fine folks get the prizes because we're giving away 10 $50 gift cards. The first 5 go to channel members. The second 5 go to anyone that is in the chat. We use the picker here that is supplied by StreamYards, and we have a hashtag that's being secretly guarded. We'll throw it into the chat tomorrow morning, first thing, and all you got to do to enter is simply put that hashtag into the chat, and you're automatically entered. We let the picker pick. If you win, you get your $50 gift card to Xbox, to PlayStation, to Nintendo eShop, or now we're even offering Steam. So you can get a Steam card of $50. And again, it's just our way of giving back through all the generosity that people continue to deliver to us with, you know, the shows that we do 5 days a week. But Hargeet, let's sell your book, brother, called Emergence. Obviously, you can buy that on Amazon. You can buy it at Barnes & Nobles. He's going to tell you where else you can get even a signed copy if you're interested. And also, where could people check out your YouTube channel? Because quite frankly, you do videos on a regular basis, and they are excellent. Talk about it, brother, and sell the brand.
Sure. So if you want to subscribe to my channel, it's Hargeet Chani 1 on YouTube. And if you want to pick up my book, Emergence, it's a sci-fi novel. It's shop.chani.us. If you want to pick up the merch, which I'm wearing, you can check that out there. And as Boom said, you can also get a signed copy if you want. Otherwise, it'll just point you to Amazon or Barnes & Noble. You can pick up the book there. Yeah, and then we'll be on tonight and on C Money's channel, and then again tomorrow. So check that out. And I'll be on with Web Dave on Sunday at 7 p.m. US Eastern Time. So check that out.
Nice, brother. Looking forward to that as always.
Yes,
obviously, and he was on last night with Fonz Gaming as well. So don't forget to check out that weekly Wednesday evenings, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Obviously, we love Hargeet and Fonz. They make a good pair, and they, you know, obviously they both wear their thoughts and theories on their sleeves, and there's nothing wrong with that. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for checking out the show. Super appreciate you stopping by. Once again, thank you for the birthday wishes and the generous super chats and channel memberships that continue to come in. And I'm going to close out the show with something that's incredibly important to me. Hopefully one day it'll be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught us when we were kids. And he would say, Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, son. I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. We'll see you next week on the newest episode of X Vlog Live.